Hi everyone, I'm Sophie and I'm a coach at the ADHD Advocate. We spoke a few times in the last few weeks. We're now at the second week of the ADHD Empowerment Month, LinkedIn Lives from the ADHD Advocate. And today we're going to speak about stop and release. We are in the academic week, so I'm going to speak about it from the student's perspective, but to be honest, it's something that even adults with ADHD struggle with. So today I'm going to speak about a few things from how, like, why it's hard for students to take a break, and then what are the benefits from it, and then as an ADHD looking through, taking a break with the ADHD lens to try and understand, what it means for an ADHD to take a break, and then as well some tips. So why is it hard for students to take a break? Well, there are many reasons, and they're all coming from different perspectives. Sometimes it might be that they're in hyper focus. So, when they are studying and it does happen that the subject they are working on, they're really enjoying it. They just forget anything that is going on around them, and they're just focusing on what they're doing then. Perhaps even if it's not homework, it's anything that they're interested in, they forget just to even go to the toilet because their mind is elsewhere. So that's a reason why they could struggle with breaks. They might, on the other side, feel like they don't deserve either to take breaks because it might be they took them a long time to get concentrated, and they think like the amount of time that they've got available to study, and knowing how they they just struggle to study in general. They feel like, okay, no, I can't take a break because otherwise, I've already skipped yesterday's studying session or whatever. So if I take even 5 minutes, this is going to be the end. It might even be that they're scared about taking breaks because they know that they end up getting distracted. So they go on their 5 minutes break. They might 5-15, whatever they think is needed. They might set themselves an alarm, and then they're so taken by, maybe their phones, or they feel like they still haven't got the energy back to go back to studying, and then the break is just going to overtake all the time that they had available, and they won't do it. ADHDers are also perfectionists, so they might say, oh, I'm just going to stop once I've finished this exercise, and then it takes them so much longer to do that exercise that at that point the break there's no point to take that because, I don't know, maybe in 10 minutes they have to leave anyway. So what's the point of going on a break? But what are the things that then make it so much beneficial instead if they were to take breaks? So it's been demonstrated how it would improve your mental health, because with ADHD is brains where your brains runs super fast like a Ferrari all the time. Having a break will help you to reset and think what you need to do, and then you've got the energy back to go on it. It would also, have the benefit of self-care, because during, even if it's it doesn't have to be during the homework time, but during the week, every day most of the students have something like either tutoring or some sport or some extra curricular work that they do, and they always on the go, always in the demand of doing things. But sometimes it's good to take a break to think, okay, now I need to rest and take care of myself. And whatever your teenage likes to do, like going out with friends or in the nature, or maybe perhaps even speaking with you and having conversation, they're always helpful. And because they could speak with people during those breaks, it will help them to reconnect and share perhaps their feelings or what is going on in their head, and that will help them to release their, perhaps overwhelm of the day, of the week, whatever it was. I've actually got an example, and it was when I was actually doing the script for this live. I was body doubling with Sarah, another of the coaches, and together we do the high school success program. We had already an hour and a half long chat, and I said, I need still to write the script on what I want to say and, put my thoughts down, but I'm getting a bit overwhelmed and there's too many things in my head right now. So she said, well, Sophie, we've been together on the phone for an hour and a half, so it's not surprising that you're a bit tired and perhaps you need a break. And I said, yeah, you're probably right. We always, during our study halls, which is when the students come and join us online during the week, every 30 minutes or so, we ask them how it's been going, and if they're a bit tired, if they want to take a break. Sometimes we actually oblige them to take a break for 5 minutes so that they understand that it's good sometimes to get away from things and then going back. So Sarah was saying, perhaps you should take, 15 minutes break to regain energy for yourself, and then afterwards start your mind map. And I was like, yeah, you're right. That's what I should be doing. I was just, taken by our conversation and got hyper focused on what we were doing, what I was doing with her. And then I came back and I wrote everything down in 10 minutes. Well, before it was something that was overwhelming. I had even started to take notes, but I had started to take it like, piece of paper that was as big as that. And I thought, Sophie, you can't do that. And that break has actually demonstrated to me, and actually being an adult, you think like, how did you not think about it? But that's exactly the point of, where the issues with ADHD come into place. It's sometimes you don't even realize that you need it. But it demonstrated to me how just taking a break, I managed, to create what I wanted to say. And it's now, I feel much more relaxed. So that's the same thing for students. So on to what to do during those breaks. Again, while me and Sarah were speaking, and she was, actually coaching me to think what the best solution would have been for me, I said, oh yeah, I folded some laundry just before the call. I could go and put it away. And she said to me, well, is that going to be relaxing for you? Is that what if it is, fine. And I thought, yeah, actually, that wouldn't be relaxing. That would just be me taking time to do some extra chores that I'm supposed to do, but I'm not actually going to be relaxing. And it was the same what happened with a student that was coaching. He said, oh, I don't like taking breaks because I struggle then to come back, and after the breaks I don't feel relaxed anyway, so what's the point of it? And so I said, what do you enjoy to do? And they were saying, well, I like to play outside with my dogs, or having a walk around a block, but there are a series of things that need to be in place for me to be able to do it. So the hard thing with ADHD and trying to, use the break time and to release that energy sufficiently is to help yourself to get the best way for you to actually take those breaks. So we analyzed it with him, and he was saying, oh, you need to have my shoes ready, or I need to make sure that actually my dog, for example, is interested in going out or playing with me. And I said, okay, but that's something that you can't control, can you? It depends on the dog, which obviously you can't control. So I said, so what other option could you do? And he came up with things like, oh, I could perhaps just meditate for a bit. And there are many apps now that help you to do that. Or if you go on YouTube, there are plenty of videos. Or he said, oh yeah, and I said, have you ever tried breathing techniques? So we spoke about breathing techniques, and what type of breathing techniques there are. And he came back to me and said, oh yeah, the breathing technique really helped me, because it helped me calm down and actually gain energy again, rather than going on my phone and spending those 15 minutes on the phone and actually getting overwhelmed by the amount of information that TikTok or was giving me. So that really helped. But he said, but you know what? There's still something that doesn't work quite right for me, because again, I still don't want to take breaks, because I forget what I was doing before, or what I'm supposed to do after. And I thought, yeah, that's a fair point, isn't it? Sometimes we just move from one task to the other, but because the ADHD brains take quite a lot, take a longer amount of time to move from one state, let's say. Not state is not what I want to say. It's not the word. From one action, perhaps, to the other, because there's so many thoughts in between that take us in all directions, and it takes therefore longer to move from one action to the other. That's what I was just saying. And so the you need to wind down during your break time, but then when you come back, you need a time to transit back into studying. And so he decided to find techniques of his own. So he started to say, okay, I'm going to write down what I was doing last and what I'm supposed to be doing next, so that when I come back, I know what was the last thing I was doing, and I know what is the next thing to do. And he found it really, really, really helpful. So yes, this is, we've gone through why it's hard, what the benefits are, what you could do during it, and how to handle going back into whatever activity. It doesn't have to be, study, as I was saying. But, it could be even tidying the room, that they need some time to stop and start again. But what could go in the way for them? And that's what this student of mine was saying, that he just would not remember what he was doing before, or if he did, he would find it still really difficult to go back straight into it. So that is something that can get in the way, which unfortunately is quite normal, because ADHD brains often have like a short memory span, and therefore if in between you were doing something else, then it's more likely for you to forget what you were just doing before. But what could get in the way as well is for the student to just go on their phone and keep scrolling through it. Or when a task is communicated to be done by others during that break, then there is the overwhelm of trying to please others and making sure that they support them, but then at the same time maybe getting overwhelmed by the amount of things running in their mind, plus this new extra input that has come in place. So it's important for parents and students to have a conversation and get an agreement in which the student can ask for the type of support that they want to receive then, and that they get and that they give the parents the approval, so that it doesn't feel like an obligation. So yeah, I think, and I hope we touched every aspect of it. I think the main thing I want to pass over is that taking a break is helpful, and sometimes moving back and looking things from far away, or just taking your mind off it for a bit, can actually help down the line. So yeah, I would say encourage you students or kids to take break while they're studying, so that they maintain the energy level until the end of the whatever task they have to do. And if you've got any questions, please write them below in the comments. And then on the 1st of November, we're going to have a session live where we're going to answer all of the questions. All right. Okay. Thank you very much, everyone, and have a good day.